Well, Tim, welcome to the show, man. Great to have you on.
Yes, great to be on.
Are you tired of doing interviews yet, promoting this book?
Man, I really like the book, and the book is the number one book in the world. So I'm so sick of doing interviews, but I'm also really, like every if you go into Amazon, like right now, if you like Amazon.com and you click on Scars and Stripes, there are only 5-star reviews. And when you read the reviews being like, dude, this was so relatable. You like this, there's some that's like, this saved my life. I was in a dark moment, I thought Tim was a superhero, but he's just like me. He fails, he struggles, his farts stink, all the things
Uh-huh.
that we wanted that book to do, is happening. And that is really cool.
Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to talk a lot more about the book, but first of all, how long have you lived in Texas?
I moved here in 2011.
Okay. So good run then.
Yeah, 10 years
And,
ago.
and from where?
From Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay. And so, I mean, most of the audience is probably familiar with your, exploits as an MMA fighter and Green Beret. But I think there's a lot more to Scars and Stripes, which you alluded to. What would you say the main message or focus of the book? It's not just, hey, look at how much of a badass Tim is, a real American hero, someone that can beat the crap out of you in the octagon. I mean, everyone knows Tim's a badass, but
I mean, I don't think there's any of that in there. Matter of fact, like
yeah,
as you read through,
I haven't read it yet. So,
yeah, like when you read it, those climatic moments, the crescendos of my career where I'm fighting main events and fighting for world titles, they're literally like a sentence in a big chapter that is talking about the human aspects of. Obviously, my life has these extraordinary circumstances. Afghanistan, Iraq, poachers in East Africa. Pirates off the coast, northeast coast of Africa, terrorists all over the world, drugs, human traffickers, while I was serving in the military, then going to Afghanistan and like crazy stuff. But like all of the meat and potatoes of that book is really about struggling, failing, bad decisions, mistakes, and everything that normal people happens all the time with normal people, but normal people don't talk about in this current day and age because everything's Instagrammed and filtered, and it's editorialized and curated, and it's all a bunch of lies. So this book is just like a vulnerable, transparent. Like I describe every smell, good ones and bad ones. I talk about crotch rot when I'm going through Ranger school. It's just like this is what it's like.
Yeah. And I read in a little blurb there that you actually talking about struggles and bad decisions. You knocked up 2 women in a span of 4 days, 2 different women.
That's right. That's not the bad part. Like while those women were pregnant, a girl that I had an orgy with, that was a ring girl, walks into my gym and said she's trying to track down all of her partners and she has HIV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like that was the same time. So like that was all happening.
Jeez.
That's great.
So no holes barred in the book.
No, this is not. And it's so needed right now. Where, yeah, every book that comes out, you get this little like drop of wisdom. Like, let me tell you how you're going to be a better person. This is how you're going to be a better entrepreneur. This is how you're going to be a better athlete. Like you got to get up this, you got to work hard. You got to like, none of that is in there. Right.
Yeah.
Like I hope everyone reading this book is smart enough to derive what the mistakes were and what caused those mistakes. Sometimes it was ego. Sometimes it was stupidity. Sometimes it was me just being a bad human. But like you gotta read the book and figure it out yourself and derive your own summary about like how to be a better person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, like you said, everything is glamorized on social media, and that's
Lame.
what we see on social media isn't really real life.
Yeah, I mean, like in the hunting world, right? You see this trophy. The dude positions the animal perfectly. The rifle is clean. It's laid up against it. He's distanced himself back perfectly to make the animal look nice and large. Like you see the sunset golden hour light where everything is beautiful. You know, like that stoic image of him standing on top of the mountaintop, looking off to the left, or that beautiful girl that's wearing makeup while she's hunting. Get the fuck out of here. You know, like none of it's real. Like I know what I smell like when I'm hunting. Like I know what my gear looks like when I've been beaten back brush for 6 days. Like it's trashed. Yeah. And where are those photos at? You know?
No, yeah, you don't get the honest ones. I don't mind. There's a fine line there because I don't want to present an image to the anti-hunting community that is going to be like, oh, they're just giving them ammunition. They're bloodthirsty, you know, assholes. So I don't want to put a bunch of blood out there, but also I don't want to be mistaken for not being authentic. And I don't think any of us should. Like, there's nothing wrong with a dead deer on a tailgate. That's an awesome picture. That's the way it's always been done. The ones where the guy's like looking at the animal and he looks like he almost might cry because he's so sad that he killed it. I'm like, come on, bro. We're high-fiving, slapping each other on the ass when we kill an elk after we've been bow hunting for 6 days.
It's hell yeah, we are.
Yeah.
You know, and then you finally make it back to camp and you take that bottle of water that you're saving because you don't know how long you're going to be hunting, and you finally dump all of that stuff off and wash all of the ticks and crap off. Dude, it's the most magical moments. You know, the tailgate high five and the final walk back to camp where you get to get your bacon and hot coffee for the first time in a week.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk about hunting poachers. I've hunted in Africa 5 times, all in South Africa, where I think they're probably a little more humane in the way they would deal with poachers.
I've not 2008 when I was there.
Well, I've talked to some guys who've been on safaris in other more darker, remoter countries in Africa, and they don't deal with. They deal with them, and it's a permanent dealing. Like you're snuffed out.
Yeah, you talking like Botswana, Zimbabwe?
Yes. Botswana, Zimbabwe.
So I did a trip.
Burkina Faso.
So I've done Burkina Faso counter poaching and Botswana counter poaching. And then I went there for the military in JSETs and FIDS to Mauritania, Niger, Burkina Faso, and like 3 or 4 trips up northwest. But we didn't get to do anything rad, so we don't even have to talk about this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But so
there was two requirements. The person had to have the intent and ability to hurt an animal. That was 1. 2, they were trespassing.
Huh. Okay.
And if those 2 requirements were met, you can permanently solve the solution to that poacher.
Yeah.
That was it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think maybe the third world sometimes has it correct, and we're so civilized over here that it's like, oh yeah, I mean, like Canadians, Trudeau just said this past week, they don't have the right to defend themselves. Like if someone's breaking into your house, your gun better be in the safe because that's where it has to be legally. Yeah. It's
that's no good.
No, first world problems for sure. So in your travels in Africa, doing anti-poaching primarily for elephants and rhino.
Mostly rhino, and then some of the private ranches. You know, even like a good gemsbuck or a kudu. You know, you're talking about a $25,000 animal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so while the permanent position security overwatch would be over like rhinos, you'd also have pastures that had, exotic game that they had carefully been raising to make sure that they were breeding healthy, good animals.
Yeah.
And, culls would disappear. But those breeder bucks and bulls, they're worth $100,000, $200,000.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the marketplace in Texas has kind of shifted, but when I first started doing this like 15 years ago, a straw of whitetail semen was big money, and it still is, but not to the extent that it was.
Yeah, man, I was at Three Eagles Ranch. It's like about an hour south of San Antonio, and they have these 2 breeder whitetail, and I think he sells those straws for $10K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's on the high end now, but it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, you want to protect those investments for sure. When I darted a rhino in South Africa, and I took video of 2 lions mating on the property, and this was like a 30,000 acre ranch. Obviously high fence to keep more so poachers out than the animals in. But the guy asked me, he's like, please don't post that video of the lions. And I was like, okay, cool. Why? Is there a reason why? Just out of curiosity. He's like, because not a lot of people have lions and rhino. And so it'll be easy for the poachers to figure out where you're hunting. So, I mean, and then 24-hour anti-poaching surveillance they had on that ranch just to protect these rhinos. It's
it's been such a criminal act how inaccurately it's been a propaganda machine, how inaccurately they have portrayed hunters when it comes to conservation. Like I know no one more active and no one that is more dedicated in the preservation of wetlands, to the preservation of habitat for animals, to the protection of animals. And it's not just so we can hunt them, it's because we like legitimately like these animals.
Right.
We think that they're gorgeous. And so anytime a hunter is demonized, I'm just like, it is such a level of ignorance that I'm always in disbelief at how stupid these people are.
Yeah. Well, the hypocrisy of it comes from a place of emotion, right? They think that they're saving these animals, but they don't actually look at the facts, being like, yeah, okay, if we take away anti-poaching or hunting, then we have no funding for anti-poaching. And then what happens to the animals? They die. Or the land gets converted back into ranching instead of wildlife. Well, you want more kudu or you want more goats?
I want more kudu.
Right. Yeah, me too.
I got a pretty epic kudu.
You did?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah, I did, but now it's sitting over my dining room table, much to my wife's displeasure.
Yeah, I have my studio where I have some dead things, then I have a little trophy room, and then the only thing that wouldn't fit in the trophy room is my eland, and so that's above the stairs.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, the wife's like, okay, that's the only
They're
one
yummy. That's a yummy animal right there. Man, my buddy just shot a yak in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you ever had yak?
No.
Dude,
but I imagine it's delicious.
I haven't had it yet, and it looks delicious. The meat looks like elk meat, but we harvested like bison amount of meat off of this yak.
Oh, that's
epic.
Cool. Yeah,
I can always have yak ribs smoking. As we get off this podcast, I'm gonna go. I have to start my smoker.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen that you like to do some grilling and cooking. What is your favorite wild game to eat?
Okay, yeah, one of those guys, right there.
Oh yeah.
My favorite meal in the world is elk tacos. I love this one, a shot. Just using. Oh yeah, gorgeous.
Shot that one with my bow in New Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, elk tacos are tough to beat.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just looking at your elk. I was like, oh, I'll show you mine.
I shot a bison last year, and I slow smoked at 200 degrees for 10 hours the rib meat on the rib, and then I bumped it up to 550, packed it, salted it, and then put barbecue sauce on it, and then glazed it, and it was really good.
Yeah. And so what did you serve it on tacos or sandwich, or what'd you do?
No, we ate the bison rib, like a rib.
Oh, like caveman. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was like the size of my leg.
I love it. My kids,
one rib did me in.
My kids are different, I think, than most of their friends in the fact that they've eaten stuff like mountain lion, nilgai testicles was one of their favorites, duck tongues, all sorts of like weird stuff that I like to just push the envelope. Really the only bad thing that I've ever eaten was bobcat, and that's because we didn't me and my buddy I shot one. He was like let's throw it on the grill, and I was like okay, and so I started to season it. He's like no, let's like get the real flavor profile of a bobcat. Not good at all. Mountain lion, not so bad.
Cat.
Yeah.
No.
Except for that one orgy experience, maybe.
Touché.
Who employs you when you're doing anti-poaching?
The farmers, the ranchers. Okay. So some of the like the J sets. So it's a joint combined exercise for training. Sometimes we are going out to train the poachers, the counter poachers.
Uh-huh.
So like if it's like a pH the professional hunters of like South Africa, they'll do a counter poaching class where like I'm not showing somebody how to track, right? They're better at it than I am. You know, how to tell sign of a poacher. What we're getting into is really the interdiction of them. So it'll be like a week-long course. We'll give them, you know, like the fundamentals of, most of them think that they shoot really well until you have, you know, 4 special forces snipers come in and show them like what real BDC looks like, dialing stuff on, how to do in reticle adjustments, you know, like, hey, here's a new app. Instead of like doing your old 762 win call that is wholly inaccurate. Here's the table that gives you your legitimate win call for this grain bullet with this muzzle velocity. You know, they're like, "Wah!" You know, to us, like PRS people, like that, like super basic commonplace. And then at the end of that, we'll go out and do real live fire exercises where we'll go on patrols, or we'll go over, do overwatch and stationary security positions over animals. And we call it AAA, advise, assist, and accompany. Accompany means we get to go with them while they go and do their thing.
Interesting. So I guess the only other question I have on that front is, how do you get recruited to do something like that? Is there like a database of dudes, former military, special forces, that are willing to go participate in anti-poaching efforts? Or
yeah, on like classifiedjobs.com.
Okay.
They're like, those posts come up sometimes on the government contracting side. You have a government contracting company. Sometimes like a civilian private contractor contract will pop up to go overseas and teach, you know, a PRS level course for South African professional hunters. No question what that course is about. You know, we know why we're running this course. So it's implied. It's not, you know, it's not in the fine print. And then I'll oftentimes just like the word of mouth.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite caliber for hunting humans versus hunting animals?
I don't know, 6.5 Creedmoor, 300 Win Mag in an AR platform. 338 Lapua. 408 Shytech. Those have done
which
real
is
well.
For which though?
Those all for the people side of the house.
Okay.
And on the hunting side, 28 Nosler, 33 Nosler. 28, you're essentially shooting a 6.5 Creedmoor, 175 grain bullet. Big fan of that. I think that guy was shot with a 33 Nosler, essentially a 338 Lapua. You know, it's a 230, 240, 250 grain bullet that's going 3,100 feet per second. Has a lot of bang for the expensive buck.
I think that's gonna be the next caliber I get. And I shot a nil guy with one, and I took a 300 Win Mag, and the outfitter was like, these things are really tough. Why don't you shoot my 338? And I was like, all right, you know, fine. I wish I would have shot mine, because we ended up having to look for the damn thing for about 5 hours, and I wasn't real comfortable with the gun. But there's a lesson too for anyone out there. If your guide's like, you know, I want you to shoot my gun, fine, take it to the range first and shoot it. He just handed it to me that morning. He was like, here, do this. And I was like, oh.
Hard pass.
Yeah. That was a long time ago. Live and learn. When you look back and taking into consideration the fact that you've lost brothers in combat, you've risked your own life many times over, when you look at the state of our country, are there ever times when you're like questioning whether it was worth it or not?
I worked for Bush. I worked for Obama. I worked for Trump, and I worked for Biden. Every one of them has had a different approach to international policy, and you know, on the business end of things, you know, there's definitely highs and lows for each of them, and I really, really love America, and I really, really love what America stands for, and I really, really love our heritage of the things that we've stood for. like, cool, you're gassing Jews and burning them. We're going to cross the ocean and we're going to kill all of you.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that. And that regardless of what we try to do with, the political correctness or, insert any agenda of whatever movement you're talking about. Even this year, both with Ukraine and Afghanistan, I've never been more proud of my countrymen. While I could be ashamed of my country at one moment, I can also simultaneously be so elated at the response from my countrymen. And, I'll use Afghanistan as an example. I was ashamed about what happened. I was absolutely ashamed that we're abandoning Americans. We're leaving them to die. We had tens of thousands of allies that were going to be trapped over there to be murdered by the Taliban. But then my countrymen rose up and took action and fundraised and bought planes and bought safe houses, and support. My organization, Save Our Allies, that we founded because of Afghanistan. People bought the planes that I flew in on, and they paid for the gas that we flew people out with. So I know yes and no.
Mm-hmm. Do you, these countries where we get into a lot of these conflicts, are they, and I'm not trying to drag you into politics, but I think as a father, like I can't stand this whole transgender thing. I have 2 7-year-old girls. I look at stuff like, oh, they're going to hold school lunches hostage over the idea that an 11 or 12-year-old boy should be going in the bathroom while my daughters are in there. I'm not down with that woke bullshit. And I don't think a lot of parents are, to be honest with you.
I started a private school because of what's happening in schools.
Really?
I literally opened my own private school so that people have a solution. So parents have a choice about what happens in there.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, man.
Free thinking, I think, is a big threat to the establishment. And that's why they're trying to cancel everyone. I don't know if you've been like censored or anything on Instagram. I lost my page for a month one time, 145,000 followers. They're just like, boom, gone overnight. No explanation. Luckily I have some friends that own a coffee company that are also former military, and they were like, hey, we spend a lot of money with you guys at Facebook and you canceled this guy for no reason. We'd like to figure out why. And then my page was back. So
magic.
Yeah. I don't know. I hate the cancel culture that if you disagree with someone, then your point is just not valid. And we have to get rid of you.
I get shadow banned every 90 days.
I don't know what it's not. I've had 145,000 followers for 2 years. My page won't grow. It's the same.
So I get 1,000 to 2,000 new followers a day until I go in the penalty box, and then I get 0 for exactly 30 days. I mean, so you can look at your insights and analytics, and so it's like this constant 1,000 to 2,000 people a day for months at a time. And then I do that post that they don't like, and then it's 0. It's literally like your growth this month is 0.0. And it's like that for exactly 30 days. And then on day 31 or day 1, boom, right back to 1,000 to 2,000 followers a day.
Oh,
it's
dude.
wild.
Well, you're lucky because I can't get out of that it's like a permanent Hades, a permanent jail. They won't.
You just talk smack about him again. You got to not talk smack about him for like 90 days before you get out of that penalty box.
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I think
I know it's really hard.
Every third post is me talking smack about him. You are self-described as a man who only feels alive when he's staring death in the face. Green Beret sniper, MMA.
Man, that sounds like such an egotistical, self-ejaculating line. It really does. Just you saying it is so cringy. But when you read the book, it makes sense. When you hear about my dad, at 6 years old, me picking up the red phone in the closet as he drove home in a Lamborghini, and I'm talking to a drug dealer with a Colombian accent. And then I'm driving down the road and I see my dad in a wife beater that's like stained and covered in vomit. And my mom's like, don't look at him. He's buying drugs. Like, okay, mom, I grew up in an extraordinary childhood, with heroes all around me. And, my first real job was a firefighter EMT. and then going to the police academy and then going to law enforcement while the serial killers all throughout San Luis Obispo, California. Then 9/11 happens. It's like, it's wild, and it makes sense, and it's not. And afterwards you'll be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, but my question about that is, you're a family man now, right?
Oh yeah. I like my family.
Yeah. So when you've already fulfilled your military obligations to your country. So when you run off,
I got 2.5 years left.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're still active.
I am.
Okay. I didn't realize that. So, but when you ran off to Afghanistan last year, that was voluntary.
It was voluntary.
And does your family look at you like where's the balance of like, we're more important than what you're doing over there, Tim? Or do they just kind of know, hey, this is who you are and what you stand for? We don't question it.
It's they definitely question it, and it's definitely both. My kids cry when I leave, and they're elated when I come back. And I try to be there in every moment that I'm, they're at school. And as soon as I get done with this podcast, I'm going to go home for when they get home from school, and I'll be there for that. So like, they are, with intentionality, my priority in my life. But they also know, like, this is who I am as a person. And this is the reason that God put me on this planet. And I would never lie to them and be like, no, don't do the things that you're passionate about. So you do the things that you're responsible for. Like, those things have to coexist.
Yeah.
Like, the things that you're passionate about with the things that you're responsible for. Because I would be a shallow, hollow human if I didn't, if I didn't have my faith, and if I didn't have my belief, and if I didn't know what justice is, and I didn't know what service meant. And I'm not happy about that. Like, I'm looking at having to go overseas for 6 months, and I'm furious and I'm heartbroken, but it is my duty. And I raised my hand that I said I would do that. So I'm going to stay true to my word.
So you're still active. I didn't realize you were able to do all the things you do and still be an active member of the military, because I saw this week you're on Joe Rogan. I don't know if that was today or whenever, but
that was yesterday.
He's in Austin too. So
yes, my man, dude, that dude is so lovely. I love that guy.
Yeah. Well, I've come around on him. I mean, obviously since he left California, I mean, his worldview has changed a little bit.
A little bit, not very much.
But as far as like going back to censorship, Joe is like a bastion of free speech and free thought. And
he's always been a bastion of free speech and free thought, and I don't think he's changed that much. I think the people that used to be around him have left him, and his ideas and the issues that he believes in are still the same issues. Prison reform, smoking weed, First Amendment, comedy is an intellectual opportunity to discuss and debate issues. This has been him all along, just people, like specific party, they're the ones that went like cuckoo cuckoo,
right? And
he's just still like him, and like Bill Maher.
He's the other one. Yeah,
they haven't changed. They're still the same. They're actually traditional Democrats from the Kennedy era.
Yeah, like my grandfather, Union man. Traditional Democrat. Yeah.
Hardworking, believes in freedom.
Saved
economically.
Every penny he had. Yeah.
But they're no longer now. They're centrists. They're radical middle, and then there's just everyone else.
Right. It has been crazy to see someone that like Bill Maher to being like, I haven't changed. The party left me. They jumped the shark, dude. Like, he's like, I'm just the same old guy. Yeah, but they abandoned me. What is, I'm looking at the elk there. What is your favorite thing to hunt?
Ooh, predators.
Predators?
Oh, so much fun. I love, setting up like a coyote collar and up into a tree stand and just like whacking a couple and then going and moving, going to a different spot, whacking again, going and moving, hopping into a truck, making sure I got the wind blowing in my face, go throw the collar out and
So you've got a nice thermal, I assume then.
I do.
Yeah. My buddy,
dude, my Predator Slayer is just a suppressed 223 bolt action with a little thermal on it.
Nice. The first thermal I ever hunted with was a buddy's, and it was a military grade optic that someone had given him, and it was like, this is like 20 years old now. But the first time I ever looked through a thermal, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Yeah. Now we've got Pulsar and Armor Sight and all these other amazing brands, and the prices come down to where the average guy can afford it if they save their pennies for a couple months. But yeah, there's nothing that beats calling Predators. I've only got a couple questions left for you. Has the fact that you've hunted humans, does that because I've talked to former military and they're like, yeah, hunting animals just doesn't really appeal to me anymore, having been in that situation, having shot at and been shot at by other humans.
I mean, just if you hate good food, you know, like, I don't know what capital that dude has to trade to get like good food, but yeah, I get it definitely doesn't have the adrenaline, you know, but like my heart still races when, you know, I see a mountain lion cruising by. Yeah. You know, like I still get excited when I like the coyotes in Texas, like they'll take down a baby elk. You know, like they're crazy. They'll run them till they get tired. You know, they'll be nipping at their butt and they'll take out a couple of hind Achilles tendons and put them on the ground and kill it. Like,
yeah. So they don't kill a lot of does, because does are smart enough to run. Bucks are stupid during the, like, especially post rut. They'll turn and fight, and then that's when that one, like you said, will just get back there and hamstring it while the other one's messing with its head. Gun laws, that's a lot front and center in our country right now. Military background, trying to raise the gun law to 21 seems to be high on the priority list of the Democrats. Would that be a good thing?
I like freedom.
I do too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to.
I don't know. I got in trouble for saying this on Lance Armstrong's podcast. Like 19-year-old Tim Kennedy, 18-year-old Tim Kennedy, he was a dummy. And like I had guns, I had shotguns, and you know, like I was dangerous. You know, but you could also go to the military and get issued one. You know, but that's like up to my parents. You know, that's up to like freedom first, man.
Yeah. And I don't think it's a thing where you can give an inch, because they're going to take a mile. And we've seen it in Canada and Australia. Yep. Suicide prevention is something that you're passionate about. You want to promote that. I know you've got an organization. I saw a phone number you posted on your Instagram.
Yeah, that's not my organization. That's just the Veteran Suicide Hotline. And I post it every single couple of weeks. You know, I've buried a couple of friends, and I have like personally intervened from friends that were going to kill themselves. So yeah, I'm passionate is not the right word. Like, I am obsessed with it because I'm sick and tired of it. Like, people need to get healthy. They need to get outside. They need to exercise. They need to hunt. They need to not do drugs. They need to not drink. They need to not smoke. They need to, you know, be good humans. So when they have dark moments, they can survive them.
Fanny pack or man purse of violence. I see you wearing that thing sometimes.
What, this thing right here?
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, let's. So what do I got in here?
What's in I'm gonna call it a merce, a man purse of violence. What's in there?
Oh, here I got my Constitution handy.
Oh, nice. Check.
I have a tourniquet. I have my pistol with an extra magazine. Got a flashlight. I have my badge. I have some chapstick. I have my cat card, and yeah, just all the stuff that you need.
I like it. Okay, the book. It is out now.
This one.
Yes.
Oh, there's
Stars and Stripes. And Nick was going to join us. I guess, you know, too bad for Nick, because
he's a coward. I thought he was too.
But yeah, you guys have been to Times Square. You've been all over the place promoting it in the last couple of weeks. I am going to order it on Amazon as soon as we get off of the call here. But it is available now. I think it came out on June 7th. Number one bestseller, you said?
Right. In the world. It's weird.
It's awesome, dude. Congratulations. And thank you for your service. Thank you for being a spokesman for freedom. And I encourage folks to follow you on your social media accounts and definitely check out the book.
To appreciate that, man. You keep doing the same. You're preaching the gospel. Got your back.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. Take care.